This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, it is so good to be with you guys tonight. I am Angela Bellar. I'm a Sapphire with Plexus, and I've been with the company for a little over 4 years. So I am so thrilled to be here tonight. I love your leader. Kylie and I met and instantly just had such an incredible connection. I love that. I think she invited me to do something. I can't even remember what it was, a Zoom or something. And then we kind of, oh, I know what it was, the healthcare professionals Facebook. So I did a live on that, and I feel like it was really late at night when I checked the message, and she was feeding the baby and getting him to bed and all that stuff, and I could hear him like cooing in the background and just all of it. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I just love this woman that she's working her business, nursing a baby. She's a physical therapist, and I went through back surgery last June, and it was pretty traumatic, not the best scenario. And so I was asking her some questions for myself. And anyway, it just I feel like it's just such a divine appointment. We met and then just really started having good conversations. And I know what her heart is for leadership, what her heart is for growth for her team. And so we definitely have that in alignment. And so while I started Plexus, for those of you guys that don't know, I started because I have lupus. I have SLE lupus. So I have the skin and joint form of lupus. And a little over 4 years ago, when I got started, I was carrying a wheelchair around in my car. And I know a lot of people start Plexus for weight loss, but I've gained almost 25 pounds since I started. I was actually malnutritioned, and my blood work was terrible. I had all the markers, all the inflammation, all the things. I was on 14 medications, including chemotherapy. I was on steroids, pain medication daily. I was on antidepressants, you name it, like acid reflux medication, not to mention all the medication for the side effects of the other medication, right? Because I call that trading problems for problems, because that's all medication did for me. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 17 years. And so I was sitting there thinking, this is not getting better. In fact, it's worse. And I felt like every time I had a new symptom, then I got a new medication, then I got a new side effect, new symptom, new medication, new side effect. And I was just like, I mean, I told my husband that I knew that the medications were killing me as fast as lupus was. But at that point, it's kind of like which is doing what. I didn't really know what my baseline was anymore because I had been on those medications for such a long time. So one of the unfortunate things that I went through for many, many years was I couldn't sleep. So it didn't matter what time I went to bed. I always woke up between 2 and 3:30 in the morning. And if you've ever had insomnia or sleep difficulty, baby, will you bring me my water, please? Then you know that it's very lonely, for one thing, when you're up in the middle of the night by yourself. It's one thing to have a baby to nurse, right? Then you're like falling asleep on them. But but it's a whole nother thing to be out by yourself. And then another thing about that is your thoughts are very negative in the middle of the night. And I feel like the enemy kind of has you cornered in those situations. So I just struggled. And what I did when I would wake up in the middle of the night, instead of, I think I watched every episode and the reruns of Say Yes to the Dress and everything that's on at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I just decided, I'm going to research how to get better. If I'm going to be awake, then I'm going to use this time. If anybody knows me, I have a very good work ethic, we'll put it that way. And so I used that to my advantage during that time. And everything I researched brought me back to gut health. And so long story short, I met a lady that was using the product. She heard about lupus, that I had lupus. And she said, have you ever considered gut health? And that was the beginning. I got started on the products. I had very quick results. So within a week, I felt a lift in my mood. I didn't feel like completely better, obviously. It took me 9 months to get off of all the medications. It took me 6 months of physical therapy after that to regain enough core muscle to even do yoga or any kind of exercise. Within about 4 months after graduating physical therapy, I was in the gym with a trainer, and I was lifting weights and doing things in the gym that I didn't do when I was 20, much less when I was 46. So it was incredible, just the change in my health. And so having that testimony, I just started sharing with people. And for me, it just started like, hey, mom, hey, people that are close to me that I know are sick, cousins, aunts, whoever. So it kind of started like that. And then I just kind of fell in love with the business. And I was like, wow, like this is my jam. Like I can see people get better. I can walk them through a health journey. I can be their coach. I can, instead of being a nurse where you go in, take care of them, leave, and you don't know what's going to happen to them after that. And I'm very much a connection person, and I want to speed this up so we can talk about the retreat. So, but I wanted you to know the backstory because it matters. So about a year and a half in, when I started feeling better, I had about probably I definitely had a senior gold team. But I went to senior gold quickly, probably in like 4 or 5 months of starting. And then I stayed at senior gold for a year. And the reason I stayed at senior gold for a year was mindset. It was mindset, 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 and it was strategy. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. I want to just give you a little taste of some of the lessons and some of the coaching and the training that you're going to get at this retreat. So I decided if I'm going to do something, I'm doing it right. Anybody else with me? Like, I do not just halfway do something. I don't leave it as is. I like to know how to do it correctly. So I'm thinking, okay, I don't know anything about network marketing. I've never done it before. I've bought all the bags, I've bought all the makeup and the jewelry. I even have it on now, right? I buy from my friends because that always made sense to me. I never understood not doing that. So, but no one ever asked me. Isn't that funny? I could have been somebody's dream teamer, y'all. They didn't even ask me. Nobody. So anyway, I think it just came natural to me. And so at that point, I had this dream when I was a little girl of being a speaker. And when I went through a divorce and domestic violence, I listened to speakers. Like those are Joyce Meyer, TD Jakes, other speakers. Like that's where I learned how to get free, how to get my life back. Right. So it's interesting how many times I've gotten my life back. And I think as women, maybe you didn't lose your life as in have a chronic illness or have trauma and abuse like I did, but I think we lose ourselves, right? We lose ourselves to being a mom, to being a wife, to being an ambassador, right? We lose ourselves. We work, 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 or try to get through, and then we look back and we're like, where am I? Right? And so my goal is to lead you hand in hand at this retreat and show you that it's possible. It's possible not to live in overwhelm. It's possible to run this business like a legitimate business, okay? Not a hobby, not a side gig, right? It's just like any other business. I'm a nurse. If I take an ICU position, then they're going to train me specifically on the ICU, and they're going to teach me how to work on that floor. So it's the same thing with this. So network marketing is a business. There is a model. There is a right way and a wrong way to do it. There's strategy that can get you far, and there's sabotage that will hold you back. And so those are the things that we're going to be talking about and really getting into. I would say, number one, I am all about connection. When you're with me, you feel like you've known me forever. I'm your cousin or best friend or whatever. I connect very deeply and very quickly. I think that's a gift that God has given me, which is interesting for all the trauma and abuse that I've been through, that my heart is still that open. That has to be God. Okay. That has to be God. But we won't be sharing surface stuff here. And I'm not doing surface because that's not where change happens. We go deep. But I'm not going to keep you there for long. I'm actually super fun too. You can ask Kylie. Everywhere I go, my mom says I just have like a circus behind me or whatever. I'm carrying a float. I'm all about the fun. So we'll dip down, but we'll come right back up and we're going to have a good time. We're going to dance. We're going to have good food, healthy food. So this is my vision. Okay. The reason why I started this is number one, I love women. Like I love seeing women get free. I love seeing women have success, like mad success. And I know there's enough to go around, right? Like there is enough to go around. There are so many people that need us. Okay. So I have zero scarcity. So we're all a team as far as I'm concerned. We're all in this together. And what I visioned was when I was in that place at Senior Gold, I thought, you know what, man, if I could just be a fly on the wall of a Diamond's house for one day, I would do it. I would copy I would do what she does and I could do it. Like, I just need the blueprint. Have you ever felt like that? Like, there's got to be a blueprint. There's got to be a way to do this that's right or wrong. But it feels like with this job for me, it felt like for a long time that it was like, okay, let me throw this up on the wall and it would just slide. It didn't stick. You know what I'm saying? It would just slide. And then there's a mess everywhere. I promise you, for the first 2 years of my business, I lived in overwhelm. So I want to teach you how to get out of overwhelm, how to love what you get to do from home. As long as you have Wi-Fi, you got Wi-Fi in a dream. You've heard it. And it's true. But I think a lot of us, we sit in sedentary lifestyle because I could get on that phone from the time I wake up in the morning until the time I go to bed at night and never clear all the messages and never get back to everybody. I could. So it can create a very sedentary lifestyle. Another thing is just looking at technology, the amount of time that we do every day is not good for our brains, right? Don't you want, I don't want to clock in and I don't want to clock out, but I don't want to feel like I'm working all the time. Yes, nooks and crannies. I love it. But there's also strategy that you can learn to keep your business in the bounds of your business, where it doesn't seep into every single thing in your life. Where I can put this down in another room and literally forget about it for an hour or two or 4 or half a day or 2 days and know that it's okay, that that's better for me, right? How are you guys feeling? These are kind of the things that we're going to be talking about. I want to share with you. We have 3 speakers that are going to be there, and I'm so thrilled. We started, I don't know if you guys know this or if Kylie told you this, but we started with 8 people. Kylie was going to be one of the 2 sideline sisters. I was opening up to 2 sideline sisters. I had 6 teammates that were going to earn it, okay? Because I have a house in Tennessee that sleeps 8 comfortably. I think people are going to bring in air mattresses for real. Like, this is turning into like a thing. But so that's all I was going to do. I was going to have the 6 at my house, or the 6 on my team, and 2 sideline sisters. And Kylie was one of the ones that I wanted to invite. And the next day, I'm sitting in a restaurant and I'm like, okay, I've got my husband. Now I've got the speaker, and it's going to be too full, and then I have to cut people out. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to see if there's Airbnbs near my house. Well, bam, there's one that sleeps 14. So now I got 14 at an Airbnb. I've got 8 at my house, and literally, you guys, I don't know if you know this about me, but I am going into the coaching business. I will be diamond soon. All the things are exploding, and I'm literally doing this for what it's going to cost me. But from here on out, it won't be that way. Do you get my drift? Okay. So this is like the opportunity, because you just can't give that much of yourself without being compensated for it. Okay. So let's see. So yeah, the Lord just said, okay, well, let's just create a lot more beds. Let's create an opportunity for a lot more women to connect. And I adore Sideline Sisters. I say they're the ones we get to pick, right? Because you don't really know the person you're signing up under sometimes. Like me, I didn't know the person that signed me up, right? And so, but I get to pick Kylie, and nothing I do affects her business, and nothing she does affects my business. So there's never any trouble in the relationship, right? It's all good. So I love Sideline Sisters. I love pouring into women. So one of the speakers, her name is Pam Snyder. I met her through my coach this year, Tamara Andress. She is a parenting and family coach. So she's coming in to talk to us about mom guilt or even grandma guilt. I know Carla has shared with me that there's some grandma guilt sometimes, right? Like mom guilt, grandma guilt, juggling the family and plexus, right? Because here's what I experience. I work my business all day while my kids are at school. And then when they get home from school and I'm making dinner and all that, everybody's getting home from work and my phone is just bing, 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 right? So I'm trying to like manage dinner, manage my kids. And then so it's like I'm doing this all day. And then everybody gets home from work, right? And so if you don't control it, it will control you, period. So she'll talk about the family and just being a woman in business and being successful. She's amazing. She's one of my very best friends. I adore her. And then the next person is Heather Demarest. I met her through Ashley Faye and Marcus Black. They have, it's really a ministry, but I went to a convention of theirs last year. It's called Embrace Your Ambition. And it's really that was the springboard for me coaching with Tamara Andress and a lot of the things that I'm doing, the action that I'm taking now, doing a retreat. I just wrote a chapter with them in an anthology. So lots of opportunity. And so I met Heather. She did the devotion, the morning devotion on the last day, and her heart for Jesus is incredible. You guys are going to love her. She's the same as me. You're just like close to her when you meet her. And so she's going to talk about time blocking, scheduling, all of those things. Like, how do you do that? Right? I mean, I couldn't do time blocking it took me a long time to get in my groove with time blocking. It's a thing. Anybody managing your time? Anybody use some help with that, some strategy with that? And what I'm planning on doing is literally showing you how I schedule my day, my week, my month. And there's a flow to this. Anybody notice that in Plexus? There's a flow, right? You end the month, and the only thing worse than the end of the month is the beginning of the month because it's still like, for the whole first week. And then that second week, you get like oh man, that's over. That was a wild ride. And then on the third week, if you're not careful, you haven't done your follow-up, so now you start getting into overwhelm, right? And you lull yourself and try to just, my dad calls it fighting the closest alligator, right? So the third week, you're just fighting the closest alligator. Oh my gosh, I got to do follow-up. Oh my gosh, I got to check my back office. Oh my gosh, it's my subscription. It's like, what is happening here, right? And then you have the end of the month and you forget everything else and you're like, magic week. Woo, I love my business for like 4 days. That sound familiar to anybody? That's what I'm here to change. You can have it better. It can work better. Can I open it up to questions? I think we just have like a minute or two.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you have any questions? The price is $2.99 for Sideline Sisters. That is going to include your pickup and return to the airport if you are from out of the state. It's going to include all of your food, all of the participation. And I like to spoil people. I don't know, Kylie might tell you a little thing or two about that. My team certainly would. We are going to have a fabulous time.
I just told them they had technically some of that was an investment in themselves. That was a surprise. But other than that, I didn't say a word.
Oh, thank you. Don't ruin my surprise. It's going to be good. I got lots of surprises. I mean, here's the thing. I've got Pam to say, okay, girl, this is when we're doing the coaching. Because I'm up here like, when are we going to have fun? What are we doing? We can do it all, though. We got it. It's going to be good. Oh, look at that beautiful boy. Oh, my goodness.
He's not coming to the retreat.
Oh, good for you, Mama. Good for
Sorry.
you.
Sorry.
I know.
Say
I wish you could. I want to squeeze you.
hello. Who's all this? Oh.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hey,
Yeah,
Archer. Aw.
Oh, he's so handsome.
Oh
His
yeah,
hair
he's our
is
team mascot.
Yes.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Oh yeah, he's the
I
funnest.
met a lady at the grocery store today because she had the cutest baby in her cart. And she was a little black baby and she had those little buns
Oh,
like all over
yeah.
her hair. And I walked by and I was like, oh my, she's so beautiful. And ended up talking to the mom. Funny that I make friends everywhere I go. And she was on tonight for the live of the podcast.
Oh,
So
fun.
she came on Facebook Live and was interacting and stuff. So I'm excited. I get to have, I'm like anybody. I am not picky. I will love on any baby. And she's like that chunky. Hi, darling. I'm kind of crazy.
Well, thank you for hopping on, Angela. I want to make sure to get the recording to you so you can
Yeah.
share it. And
Okay,
if you guys have any questions that you need soundboarded over to Angela, we can do that too. So so
Kylie knows how to get a hold of me. Thanks for your time tonight, ladies.
Is there a specific time you need all the funds by and like the firm thing, or do you want to let me know tomorrow for sure for Anna?
I'll touch base tomorrow. I'm really worried about getting the funds, but I need to know if you're in or out because they're going fast. That's all.
Yeah.
And it's no pressure from me. I just don't want anybody. I am like, when it gets to the no part, I'm going to be like, okay, Brenda, you got to take over because I don't want to say no to anybody.
Where is this at right now? You said it's like 20-30 minutes out of Cookeville.
So my house is, if you're going towards Lebanon,
Yes.
it's in Gordonsville.
Okay.
So you go if you're going to Lebanon. So that's about 25 minutes from Cookeville. And then, but Google the house, there was only one available. So it's at Center Lake.
Oh, that's
It's beautiful over there. So it might be a little more of a drive for you, but I'm not sure. Google it to see. They don't give you the address of the house until like right before.
so because a lot of people I need to kind of probably decide what I'm going to do by tomorrow, because I'm also like, I haven't really started like selling prior. So I don't know if like this is the retreat for me.
Oh, babe.
If we're going to
this is
be
the
honest,
retreat for you.
and I'm just trying to figure out how to manage my home still.
honey, you're probably going to get more. Here's the thing. It's going to be more than Plexus. It's going to be so much more. And if you've been with Plexus for 5 years, like it's going to be, it's for a woman's soul. Okay. It's to fill a woman's soul and spirit.
There will be Plexus, but it's not the forefront of the discussion, if that makes sense. There's a lot more to growth spiritually and personally. And that was exactly Angela's heart of sharing that. And so she's got other things that are specific to like just even how to keep track of your own life when you're managing a million other things like 5 kids. And so that way you can have some other tools to help you and some other women to rally around you. So
the community is so huge. Yes. Yes.
For sure. Yeah.
I'll be praying for you. What?
Thank you. I was like, I've only been doing this for like 2 weeks. I don't know if I'm like jumping in way over my head doing this or what. So
no, this is more of a community of anybody who wants to come and truly have.
This is probably tailor-made for a 26-year-old that's adopting 5 kids. Yeah. I'm just like, this is so amazing. I hope you get to come. That's going to be amazing.
I wish I would have had this when I started in Plexus, right? Like what a kickstart. I think you're going to love it. It's going to inspire you so much.
And Jody's about to hop on. Let me see if can I make you a host? And because I need to hop off, I'm actually leading
Oh,
accountability.
yeah.
group.
Yeah, babe. Yeah, throw me over.
Let me see how I can do that.
And then I can answer some questions if I
Yes.
need to.
Okay, making host, but do you want me to, I think that's gonna mean I'm
Turn off
gonna
the recording.
stop the recording though.
Yeah, that's fine.